If you're intelligent, but you can't communicate, you're useless. If you're intelligent and you can't communicate, you're useless. Now, we have long left the information era, and we're now officially in the communication era, and we have been for a while. This is, again, is my opinion. But more and more, I'm finding and meeting tons of intelligent people who can't communicate for the life of them. And a lot of them are struggling, by the way. Communication is so deeply embedded into everything that we do as human beings that our lack of, and again, I'm not saying that somebody has to become this masterful communicator. No. I'm talking about being good and proficient. You don't have to be world star, charming, charismatic, none of that. I'm talking about being just a good communicator. You can take your ideas or whatever it is, and it can be duplicated in somebody else's head. Meaning I can present anything to anyone and they'll get it. I can hold somebody's attention. I can ask relevant questions. I can lead a conversation. I can initiate a conversation. I can sell something. I can present an idea. I can teach my kids, whatever it is. All of that would be communication. But think about that. How many intelligent people do we have out there who can't communicate? Now, this is the beauty in this particular topic. Intelligence is earned. Some people were born smarter than others. Maybe they picked up on things quicker. That's fine. However, communication, and this is the key, and this is where the falsehoods have been thrown in. Anybody can learn to communicate and become a masterful communicator if they want to take it to that level. However, they have to believe that, and then they have to put in the work. You see, that's the thing is intelligence, a lot of people will work at it. They'll get hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, read their own books, go the traditional formal education route. And that's a normal thing. But communication suddenly gets swept under the rug. Well, I wasn't born that way, or that's not me. When that's completely false. You were just conditioned or lived a certain way that created this lack of social skill or whatever. And the bottom line is most people aren't lacking in that area. They just don't get enough practice and they don't get enough teaching in that and reps in that field. Everything is books, intelligence. And I remember it was pushed on me as a kid too, and it is for a lot of kids. Study math and history and do this and the after school programs. And that's all great. I think we should push for people to be more intelligent. Absolutely, because it's only going to help us. But why not give that same amount of effort and focus to communication? Because an intelligent person that's a great communicator, oh man, they can move mountains. They can be the people who cause movements. They can get things changed lickety-split. They can take a company from nothing to the top very quickly. They can raise their children the best way possible because they know how to relate and communicate to them. And they use their intelligence in order to make that relationship better and lead them down that right path. But you can't just have the ideas and intelligence. It has to be able to be communicated. So I know a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier, that are great individuals, super smart, but they can't communicate. They choke up in front of people. They can't talk to somebody. They have difficulty expressing their ideas. And the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of people don't understand the amount of opportunities that are available to them if they improve their communication. But additionally, a lot of people are getting an improper viewpoint of somebody, a wrong version of them, a lesser version of them because they can't communicate. Think about how we respond as human beings, generally speaking, to people who can't communicate. If somebody's young, right, maybe they're not an adult yet, they're still in high school, middle school, and they get nervous around people and they're not really attuned yet socially or conversationally, we give them a pass. They're still a kid. But when you're an adult, you're 18 plus, and you're not good socially and all these things. Now, I know it's cute and fun, especially online, for people to get together, and we almost create like an environment of enabling where, oh, you're an introvert, so am I. And like we bathe and we cheer for these issues and quotes that we've labeled ourselves with, and we celebrate it. But after you hit adulthood, not being socially skilled, not being able to sell, not having communication skills, people start looking at you a little bit funny. They may not say it to your face, but they'll start looking at you in a different light because we would expect an adult to be at least a proficient communicator. They don't have to be world class. Let me make that clear. I'm not talking about being, the Wolf of Wall Street in every area of life. I'm talking about just being proficient and using communication, understanding and prioritizing our development and continuous development in communication specifically. But you start to get frowned upon and it's looked at weird. Then, you turn 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And I think that also leads to mental decline in people because they start socially isolating themselves. You see it right now. How many people are suffering mentally because, again, they won't say it, but a lot of it is social. And now it's cool to just throw in the towel. Well, fuck it. I'm just going to be alone forever and not talk to anybody. And look, I get it. I like being alone a lot, actually. But I have a ton of friends. I have businesses, a lot of people that I work with, and I'm social very often. I just choose on my personal time to be alone. A lot of people don't fall into that category. They have no friends, no colleagues. They don't do any extracurricular activities. They don't talk to anybody except for maybe their parents or their brother. But again, it's because a lot of people can't. And then it turns into all these other issues, instead of saying, hey, if I just became more comfortable socially, then it would be easy for me to meet people, do things, try things, and get out there and just interact with the world. You guys have to remember, what's the number one form of punishment we give people here? Solitary confinement. Meaning they put you in a room with the four walls, the floor and the ceiling, and they know that social isolation is going to be tough. It's going to hurt. And then if we see somebody come out of that 10, 20, 30 years later, and they're not crazy, we're like, whoa, that person is mentally strong. Because we know how detrimental that is to a human being. Today in 2025, we're willingly doing that to ourselves. We will lock ourselves in our homes, our apartments, our condos, and not talk to anybody. But we feel like, oh, I watch videos, oh, I did this. We think that that's social interaction. It's not. We're in the social media era and people are lonelier than ever. People with 1 million followers crying that they have no friends or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it is. So this issue is a lot deeper than people think it is. Maybe you thought this was just about money or I was talking shit. I'm not. I'm serious. And I knew when I got into the sales industry at 28 years old, almost 13 years ago now, I knew I was going to have to dominate communication. And although I had practice in sports and all that, I wasn't seen as a social butterfly or a great public speaker. And now people just assume I was born this way. I worked on it. I know I'm intelligent and I've worked and honed and developed my intelligence over the years. But the reason that I'm dangerous, in quotes, is because I can communicate too. And I know it's because of that combination that I was deplatformed originally. The world knows that if there's a lot of intelligent people that are great communicators, that's a problem for the system, the government, whatever controls this thing. All right? Everybody has their own theories. You want to become more effective as a human being, more fulfilled, better for you, your loved ones, and the people around you? Hone and develop your intelligence and become a great communicator. And the better you push the communication, oh man, it's unprecedented. It will go beyond your wildest dreams. You become more creative, your self-esteem will improve, your confidence will improve, you will go out and be a shining light to the world. It's just incredible what will happen. And an intelligent person that's a great communicator is a waste. Just like I'm sure you guys have met some people who maybe naturally are better communicators, but they're dumb as a rock. It's a shame. But notice that traditionally speaking, in most areas of life, the better communicator, a lot of times and a lot of examples, will get farther than the person who's just intelligent. Because this person, the communicator, will be bold enough to go out and try it. They may be less intelligent and frankly dumb, but because they go out and they put in the effort and they engage with life from the position of being an open communicator, so internally and externally they're more attuned to that, they get more stuff done, they squeeze every drop of juice out of life, and they overall in their mind are living a better experience, even though the other guy's looking at them like, dude, you're dumb. Isn't that interesting? Because a key component is missed there. Communication is first internal, then external. If you become a better communicator, your self-talk and your mindset is going to improve tremendously. And that's such a key component in this. That's so rooted with our mental health and clarity and fulfillment and happiness in life for us and our satisfaction. So if you don't prioritize it, it can cause a negative ripple effect in your life. And it's something that you have to really champion. That's why I've always recommended over the years, getting into some sort of sales, doing Toastmasters, and doing a lot of things that promote and encourage you to improve your communication. My platforms are built on that, whether my communities, my coaching, or these. A lot of it is based in communications and relations and all that. I know I've talked about stuff on here like relationships and that kind of stuff, but the vast majority of it comes back to sales, communication, mindset, and that kind of stuff, because I understand to be the complete package, I'm going to need intelligence and communication. And communication has opened up so much in my life. It's literally opened up doors that I didn't even know existed in my life. My podcast has gotten millions of downloads. I've met people who I never would have met, shared the stage with people who I never would have met, all because of communication. Sure, my intelligence has a lot to do with my success. Absolutely. Just like many of you are improving your intelligence every day and seeking to improve it. At least I hope you are. But you got to put that same amount of time and effort and prioritization into your communication, and everything will change. But if you're intelligent and you can't communicate, what a waste. What a waste. Prioritize it, and then come back to this video and let me know how it's going to change for you. Because I guarantee you're going to start viewing the world and living differently. People will treat you differently. You'll have a different spark to you. Everything is going to change. That much I can guarantee, okay? So check out some of the free resources I got in the description. Shoot me a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. I know there's a lot of intelligent people that follow me. Develop the communication and watch how suddenly you'll be more driven, more motivated, and it'll solve a lot of the issues that you think you have that are simply a symptom of the real issue. All right? See you guys.